Good morning, Rabbi Isai. A lot of exciting news today. First of all, I got to talk about the Gemara. This is, we get used to all these things. This is $100-something thousand project just to make this volume right over here. It's brand new Pirush, crystal clear Pshat, with calendars, with maps, with color charts in the back on Menachas, all sorts of stuff. Our own. Let's see, hold on a second. I had a Shaila on the cover. I had a Shaila how to spell official's name. Let's see, it's in here. I know it's back here also. There's full pages to all the Choshev guys that gave. Where's David? David's not here. Oh, he's in America. I saw one here. Yeah, that's how you spell it. My official without an E. Okay. The brand new official edition. Masechtas Menachos by the Levi family, Iranian Levi family. Bekitzer, our own. Letters, Zachin. Oh, it's unbelievable. Each daf comes with a QR code on the bottom. You can get to the shir directly, the charts. The Gemara side has Nekudos, the Izvahadar, Givaldic stuff. It's a very clear, simple pshat, easy to understand. So, this is for sale. Like I think 300 Gemaras were sold already in one day online. And if you join the shir, you get one of these. And if you get somebody to join, you get a free Gemara. So now's your chance. Don't procrastinate. Rabbi Isai, we have a raffle winner. Oh, I'm waiting. You ready? Wow, this is a long one. Could they do it? Could they speed it up? It's not like live. This happened already. Guys. Alex is Gilden. Oh, that's Penny's cousin, uncle, not brother. The guy from Passaic. Wow. Mazel tov, Alex Gilden. Alex Gilden is the winner. Last chance tonight in New York, 10 p.m. is when the final room is going to be drawn. You can buy. It's interesting. You can buy a ticket with Meiser money. You can play the lottery with Meiser money. Geschmack. Okay, this guy that's coming to the Sharaton that I haven't met yet, Tzvi Pinzel from Toronto, the guy that you saw you'll see him in this video. So he said he wants to get 100 people to join Menachos. He's already at the last, 12 hours ago, he's at 25. Has a lot of followers on status. He sent me a bunch, I'll show you. But this is what he does. He pushes it. He does his own thing. So everybody could do the same thing if you put in the koiches. Look at the koiches he put in here. Rabbi said it's all AI on the left. Here we go. And basically it's all the stuff I talk about in here. The jet skis, the airplane. That's him. All AI. MDY, no, it's the reflection in the water. That's Benny giving me the siddur, all AI. Skiing in an airplane, on the jet ski. How did you know about the jet ski? I didn't see the jet ski myself yet. Scuba diving. The purple yarmulke. He likes going to good restaurants. Yeah. No, you watch the status. You want to come to the shir.
At least you definitely want a good steak.
Yeah. So he sent me some of these things that people sent to him. So this guy says, I have a chavrusa in Koil Tyrus. I try to do another Gemara, Mishnah, Musar. But I can't, it's too much pressure, and then the kids, I'm not masking enough, prior marriage. Kids I'm jealous with all your schus, all the loim de adaf. And then he says, Shvachim Ami, that I've never heard before in my life. Listen to this. Befrat b'shomi lev shel hagoyin hatzadik, isha pella, harava doim lemalach, ule gentleman. Doim lemalach ule gentleman. Gentleman. Rebelli, he's laughing, he can't even, it's one of the funniest things he heard in the year. Kids, he decided to start, and v'chule v'chule, givaldi. Rabbi say in London, there's going to be a siyum, Masechet Zevachim, on Thursday, but look at this. Who's the guest speaker? Rabbi Avram Weisfish is one of the guest speakers there. Rabbi Danny Kirsch.
Very nice.
This is from the Chevra in London. They put this advert together. Advert. Option 1, join the shir. Option 2, introduce someone to the shir. And join dafyomi.com. Gevaldik. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? I could even reach out. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Chazkul Nizam from Muncie. Shalom Aleichem. You do the shir?
Yeah, since the last years, I think, regularly. Somewhere in
Bavasa. Gevaldik. Wow. Shkoyach. Shkoyach for coming. You're not coming to the Shabbaton, are you?
I'm just going back tonight.
Too much traveling. Next year. So the next year, I'm telling you, it's going to be unbelievable. Huh?
Not on your level of being used to traveling.
I'm not used. If you think I'm used to, I slept in yesterday. Yesterday they had to wake me up. I'm still. It's crazy. Even I went to sleep late again. I couldn't fall. Sniper. What's your name?
John Weiss.
Shalom Aleichem.
Skokie.
Wow, from Skokie. Wow, Landsman. We're Wow. Somebody just sent me a picture. Who said you sent me the picture of when I was in Kayitz, like 30 years ago. I was a counselor in Yeshivat Kayitz, and there's a picture of me with what's the rabbi from Skokie, in the yeshiva. The yeshiva. No, he's still there, like a principal or something. No, that's the yeshiva, but in the principal. Anyways, he had a black beard, and I had black hair, and we had our palm pilots or something. We all had palm pilots. We were writing something with a pen. No. Shavuot HaRebelli, I would like to tell you personally, MDY, for changing my life. I began to learn the daf. Learning with MDY has ignited a spark which I never thought would ever be reignited again. As our time with Zevachim now comes to an end, I want to suggest a new idea for Menachot and other Masechot and Kachim. Baruch Hashem, I was able to spend Chanukah in Eretz HaKodesh, and I was able to learn the daf by the Kaisel Maravi, which is an unbelievable experience. Whilst learning, Baruch Hu gave me the idea of having AI videos showing each of the Korbanos and the Avodah virtual reality similar to the VR exhibition in the Beis Hamikdash at the Western Wall. If anybody knows how to do this, because I believe that in 2-3 years from now, people will be watching the show in virtual reality, because I used virtual reality once in an Apple store. If you haven't done it, try it out. It's an incredible experience. It's not a joke. You really feel that you're there. Like you think you could touch the people next to you. You just have to have the right recording device. I think it's like $20,000 now, and I think it's kedai to invest seriously, because eventually that's how people are going to be watching the shir. Might as well get on the bandwagon now. If anybody knows about it, no, the real virtual, not the joke. Natan Anaroni from Gibraltar, Shkoyach. I started with MDY in the beginning and fell out due to the long sponsorships and emails, like right now. Although we prefer a couple minutes less of the intros and email. All right. I just wanted to do the daf. You see, if without the long sponsorship emails, I wouldn't be reading your email. I just wanted to do the daf. Fast forward to Zevachim, I needed help understanding the Gemara, how it all played out in the Beis Hamikdash, so I rejoined. It definitely helped me understand to another level. Now I listen to you shir every day. My kids hear your voice, they come running to watch the shir. Thank you. P.S. I think the funniest AI video was the 7-Eleven with the bird. Interesting. So for this I have to say, Joey Chams. Rabbi Isai, what do you tell a guy like this? It's very, very important.
Nothing but the daf.
Exactly. Nothing but the daf. There's a product exactly for him, and there are people that I know that left the shir because it was too much for them, everything a room in a room. So this is something just Torah. For a very serious guy that can't take a joke, nothing but the daf. And and the AI videos will be on there. The good videos will be on there. The charts are there. It's just nothing but the daf. It's really, you know what it's perfect for? This guy. A lot of people. No, this is great. So now you have a weapon. Somebody says, I used to do the shear, but you know what? It's too much for me. Nothing but the daf. Perfect. And one last thing. Oh, no, now what? You said yesterday, Shia, the purpose of life is not that everything should go smoothly. The opposite. It's the challenges along the way. I think it's that and more. The purpose of life is the growth that happens when the challenges present themselves, says Ilan Davidovich. And the reward for having risen to meet any particular challenge is a higher quality challenge. And how do we know which growth is most pressing in our lives? Simply become aware of the challenge that seems to keep showing up. He's saying the Vilna Gaon now. If we spend our lives rising to meet ever higher quality challenges, after 120 we will have a bag of schusim and will Emir Hashem have become the fullest and best versions of ourselves according to Hashem's will. Ilan Davidovici. This is very cool, and that's why I'm reading it here. Rebelli, while in Santiago, Chile, I was zoicha to meet Ari Abud, president of Torat Chaim Shol, right? That's how they spell Chaim. Who's been learning the daf for 4 years with MDY in Chile. Huge shout out to our Chevra in Chile, as well as the rest of South America. Perhaps in light of recent events, MDY will soon be able to have a satellite location in Venezuela. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person at the Shabbaton Best, Naftali Palchik and Ari Abud. Which one is Naftali Palchik? Yes? The one on the right or the left? Left. Because here is Ari Abud learning the daf right over here. Somebody's putting this in here as we speak. This is virtual reality. Somebody doing the daf in virtual reality. Very good. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. You'll see. Maybe even less than 2 years. The problem is the price. I think Apple is how much? $3,000 or something. But an Apple is better than Samsung by far. David Salman, dedicated in memory of Avi Moiri. Reb Shmuel Baruch Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Doiv Zechron Levracha. Mesechta sponsors. Anonymous. Lin Nishmas Doidi Shlomi Yehuda Zechron Levracha Ben Shmuel Chaim Zechron Levracha Shishak Avadlam Tkachim Kol Chai. By the way, Noam Fix already left to the Shabbaton. Avi Kamiansky left to the Shabbaton. Reb Nachman is leaving today to the Shabbaton. I changed my, Benny, you don't know this, but I changed my ticket back. You know about it? I changed my ticket 3 times already. I was supposed to go Tuesday night, and then whatever, it didn't work out so well. I got stuck in a seat and a this and that, so I said, okay, forget it. So I changed to Tuesday morning. There's much more availability, but it's a terrible flight. So then Benny said, what are you crazy for a few $1,000s? MDY is going to suffer? I said, you're right. So I went back to the night flight. Sponsored by Skybrook Capital. Sponsored by Skybrook Capital in honor of our friends Mary Kovacs, Taki, and Shamshi Shlaver for the devotion to our study and the shir. The guy from Skybrook himself was the one that took the video of Spice. I got it. Joel Gedalius, Lee Nishmas, my father, Jack Gedalius, Anonymous, Haslach Baruchnis, Ubegashmis. Monthly sponsors: Ari Simon, Refuah Shlema Avi Moiri, Baruch Ben Miriam, Jamie Azulai, Refuah Shlema Esther Bas Luna, Esther Walkenstein, Mazel Tov to my husband Kalman Natana Walkenstein on his 40th birthday. Anonymous, Brachat Belidai, Bartzinissim and Shoshana Leah, Yudabiyam Vecha. It's true that you're friends with Yisrael Goldstein? His birthday's like today, no? 50th birthday. It's a big one. It's a big one. I think it's today, something like that. Mazel Tov Rabbi Yisrael, if that's your birthday. Weekly sponsors: MDY Zoom Mishpach, in memory of our dear friend Mr. Henry Rosenblatt, Olav Shalom of Kibbutz Levi. They said at his Levaya, I got this from a few people, at his Levaya, to Espedim. He didn't learn Torah until he was 70, and he started with MDY, and that was the center of his day. His friendly and kind-hearted personality brightened our day. Yehi Zichri Baruch. He's not here, Nachum, so we can't ask him. Steven Rubenstein, Lilunishma Simi Mirati, Esther Bas Pesach, Mishpacha Rubenstein. Daily sponsor Anonymous, thank you Hashem Atzlach and Parnasa, Refuah Shlema L'chol Chayil Yam Yisrael. Anonymous, Refuah Shlema for Rina Bat Leah, a 15-month-old in need of Rachmei Shomayim. Refuah Shlema. Aaron Gottfreund, celebrating marriage, Ariel Gottfreund, Parkland, Florida, and Reuven Summers, Denver, Colorado. Zoichet Abayis Neman B'Yisrael. Innovations LLC, thank you Hashem for the open nace you just did minutes ago for my friend and his family. Hine Le'yonov Le'yishon Shomer Yisrael. And the way out, Refuah Shlema Yehonatan Eitan Ben Bas Sheva Bracha. Refuah Shlema Mordechai Ben Esther. Rosayela Daniel Zev Ben Ayelet Esther. Rabbi said we have a daf of, it's an easier daf and a full amud of Agadata at least, with one of the most fascinating videos that our team put together. You're going to love every second.
Eddie, when are you going?
Oh, tomorrow the English shir Regular shear, regular time, 7:10 in the morning. Second shear tomorrow for the next day's daf, 6 o'clock, and then p.m. and then followed by the 7 o'clock Hebrew shear. Doing it earlier so I can get to the airport on time. That's now. What happens in a few hours from now could change. I've been on the phone for literally 2-3 hours yesterday just with changing flights and doing flights, and I have to say thank you to our good friend David, who was on the phone for a very long time, and all his work didn't go to waste, but whatever. Where are we holding? We're holding by the Gemara. We're discussing Daf Kufyud Gimel Amud Aleph, 5 lines down. This never happens, Rabbi, so don't get used to it. We're mamish on today's daf, but not stam on today's daf. We're 5 lines into today's daf. Now, this is what we were discussing yesterday. The Para Duma, the halacha is, you see the Beis HaMikdash over there? You can even see the entrance to the Beis HaMikdash, to the Heichel. That's the big door, the giant building's the Heichel. The Para Duma, what area of Eretz Yisrael is the Para Duma right now? But where is that? Huh? So whoever says Yerushalayim is making a mistake. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? David. You look like Jonathan Austin, no? He looks like a brother. So, Shalom Aleichem, David. This is not Yerushalayim, because Yerushalayim ends right over here by this wall. Right? That's Mechutz L'Chaimas Yerushalayim. But anyway, you're supposed to be on Har HaZeisim. It's true, it's on Har HaZeisim. Just don't think Har HaZeisim Yerushalayim of then. Maybe today it is. And you do this. Okay, that's weird but you do Azaz Adam. The reason why there's a giant pile of wood is because we don't know when the next time we'll find the Para Aduma, and we have to take the ashes of the Para Aduma, we burn it, and we use the ashes, we mix it with the water from the spring, and we sprinkle it on people that have Tumah Sameis. Now we don't know how long that'll last, sometimes it's hundreds of years. So we pile up a ton of wood, maybe even more than this pile, and we burn the Para Aduma on it. And I'll show you a video of it in a second. And that part of burning with the wood, all the wood becomes the ashes, and that's what we can use. Now, it says in the Mishnah that if you do this outside of its place, not over here, you don't get kares. It's not like taking a oila and shechting it over there, because if you did that, you shecht the oila over there, put on a mizbeach over there, you'd get kares. Doing the avodah of the paradum is different. But if you do it chutz megita, you pater. My chutz megita, what does it mean outside of its gita? Omer Ashlokish chutz mimakim abadukla. They checked Eretz Yisrael to see that there's no bones, there's no dead people buried there, called tumas kever atahoim. Atahoim means the depth, meaning an unknown grave. Maybe there's an unknown grave. And that's basically why we have a lot of agadah today talking about the mabel and the bones that got mixed into the ground over the mabel, and there's bones inside the ground. Now, that only could apply if you hold that there was a mabel in Eretz Yisrael, but we all know from Cheder that there's a shita that says there's no mabel in Eretz Yisrael. Omer Shlakish chutz mimakim abadikla. He did the paradum in a place that wasn't checked for bones. Now, it could be tumah there. You don't want tumah. Omer Rabbi Yochanan v'alei kol Eretz Yisrael b'duki. But we checked the entire Eretz Yisrael. There's no bones in Eretz Yisrael. There's no dead people just laying around. Elam Rabbi Yochanan. So what does it mean in the Mishnah? He did it inside the wall of Yerushalayim. You're supposed to do it outside the wall, like in this picture. He did it inside. As the Gemara do it over here, but to the left. Go on the other side of the Beis HaMikdash, facing the back of the Beis HaMikdash. That's possible. Why is that possible? It's actually a puzzle. If you shecht it not opposite the entrance to the Beis HaMikdash, psula. It's literally puzzle shenemar v'shochat v'hiza. We have 2 psukim over here, one after the other. Pasuk Gimel says, "V'haitzi oisol mechutz l'machane v'shochat oisol lefanav." You shecht the para aduma in front of him. It doesn't say where. In Pasuk Daled says, "V'hiza." V'hiza. You see, v'hiza. You do the sprinkling. Shalom Aleichem Yaakov. It tells you exactly where you have to do it. Facing the opening of the Beis HaMikdash. So we have what's called a hekesh. You could compare Pasuk Gimel to Pasuk Dalet. It doesn't say Pasuk Gimel where it is, but Pasuk Dalet does say where the Hazah is. So we'll say the same thing applies to the Shechita. Pasuk Gimel, the Shechita is also El noichach pnei el moed. You have to do it facing. And if you don't do it facing, you're over. It's not a good paradum. Shenever v'shachad v'yizo maza osa neged ha-pesach af shchitose kened ha-pesach. Yaakov, don't get used to this. It's a day of Agadita. It wasn't always like that in Zevachim. Welcome back. We missed you. And you'll say, okay, maybe he doesn't hold of this hekesh. And therefore, he can't say that the Mishnah is referring to shechting it not opposite of the... It's good to shecht it opposite of the doorway, but if you don't, it doesn't passel it. Vayitmar. I'm just going to read it because I don't know what to do over here. It says to take it out. Oh. Check this out. Here's another one. Now I love AI. And I have to keep on reminding myself that we're just in the first few months of AI. Well, I mean, literally, this is the beginning. Okay, I don't know, maybe it was a year or 2 years. But the technology evolves every 2 weeks. A new product comes out. So we're still holding with these issues that this dead cow suddenly pops his eyes open in the middle. Well, okay, but still part of it. There's a little wink there. Okay, so that's streifa, the streifa of the cow. Vidma, srafa shaloi keneged ha-pesach. If you did this, not opposite the doorway, Rabbi Yochanan Amar Psula, Rabbi Shaya Amar Ksheira. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Psula here, it says Mefurish, he holds of the hekesh v'sara v'hiza. Rabbi Shaya Amar Ksheira, al pirsha Yisrael. You should burn it with its waste. Now it's an interesting thing for the Torah to tell you, burn it with the waste. The Torah usually doesn't talk about the waste. So perhaps we could learn from the word pirsha, which means waste, but we could do like some sort of limud. It means where it separates to death. Rashi says that we don't really know where it's going to die, because after an animal dies, it convulsions and could move away from there. So we don't really have an exact spot. Amri, so again, so we're going back to the question, why do you say that he shechted it inside the walls of Yerushalayim? Say that he shechted it outside the walls, but not opposite the door. He says, that's not a big chiddush. The chiddush is inside the walls of Yerushalayim. That's far away, on Har Zeisim, opposite, not opposite the doorway. It's far, so it's pashut that it's not a good shchita and streifa. But even if you shechted it inside the walls of Yerushalayim, and you're so close to the Beis Hamikdash, and you say that it's kosher, kamashmal, and it has to be outside the walls of Yerushalayim, and it has to be opposite the doorway of the Beis Hamikdash. Shalom Aleichem, guys. What's your names? What's your name? From where?
Manchester.
Manchester. Shalom Aleichem. Wow. You seem excited to be here. You are? Why?
First time in Israel.
First time in Israel. You mean first time in MDY?
Yeah.
Also. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name?
Ariel from Brothers.
Wow. One of you does the shir? This time you got up early to see this.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. Shalom Aleichem. There's a bunch of guys over there. So you told me your name is David.
From Lebanon.
From where?
Paris.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's chasha for us.
His niece is getting married this week.
Yeah.
I came from LA for the chashuv.
So she brought in 2 chashuva guys this year. Beautiful. And you, what's your name?
Yedi Kramer.
From?
Muncie.
I learned with Rabbi Yedidya Kramer. Close. Shalom Aleichem. All right. Omar, here goes. We're getting to the Agadta now. We're going to inch into it slowly, but I'm telling you there's a Agadta here. Omar loy Rabbi Yochanan. Va'aloy kol Eretz Yisrael b'dukihi. Rabbi Yochanan says they checked the entire Eretz Yisrael. What's the source of the machlokes? Mar sava yorad mabel Eretz Yisrael, mar sava lo yorad. The question is, and we're going to have a video, it's beautiful. In the video you'll see what it means not to have a mabel in Eretz Yisrael. The question is, was there or wasn't there the mabel in Eretz Yisrael? It's possible that the whole world had water and there was like walls around it, no water in there. Rabbi Yochanan says there's no mabel in Eretz Yisrael, therefore there's no dead people floating around. didn't get mixed into the mud over there. So there's no concern. It's Baduk. Eretz Yisrael is Baduk. Omer Rav Nachman by Yitzchak Ushnei Mikra Echadarshu. Rabbi Yochanan and Shlokish, they argue in the same pasuk. It says, Ben Adam, because we're talking to Yechezkel, Ben Adam, and Mar La at Eretz Lemit Tahirahi, tell Eretz Yisrael, you're a land that's not tar. Legushma b'yom zam. I heard this when I was a kid, and it's like one of these things that stuck in my head, like one of these famous story of a kid that was in camp and wrote his parents a letter, and his father opens up the letter, and his father's in a terrible mood, and he reads, he says, Dear Dad, send me money. And the father was so upset at his son for the chutzpah, the tone in his letter, that he decides he's not going to send him any money. The next week he gets another letter, and he's in a much better mood. Dear Dad, send me money. Like, whatever the wording was, but the point of the story is the tone. It's how you read it. Over here you have the same exact words. Machlek is how you read it. Do you read it in a question, or do you read it as a teretz? Rabbi Yochanan Sovar, at Tmui Metamakra, the pasuk is asking a question. Eretz Yisrael mila mitahirat? Aren't you tahar? Klum yardu alayich kshom yom zam. Did it rain? Was there a mabul on the day of anger, on the day of the mabul? There's no water in Eretz Yisrael. No, it's not a question. You just read it like you read any other pasuk. Eretz loy mitahirat. It's the same exact words, but it's Eretz loy mitahirat. Hashem is making a statement. It's a fact. You should know Eretz Yisrael is not tahar. This is a question. The question is on the second part. Didn't it rain during the Mabul? In other words, Rav Shlokish holds that it rained all the entire world, and therefore there were a lot of dead in Eretz Yisrael. If there's dead in Eretz Yisrael, you don't know where you're stepping. And in order to make the Parad Duma in the right way, you have to check. You have to take an X-ray machine and go over the ground over there, make sure there's no bones. First of all, I don't know what they are. And who said we are makbid on it? And who said in Eretz Yisrael they're not Jews? Yeah. There's tumah then. I hear, Azoy, there has to be this tumah. Says the Gemara. Obviously, what you're asking is not a kasha. So now Rish Lakish, I'm just saying, there was a tumah. We're makbid on this tumah. So says Rish Lakish to Rabbi Yochanan. Now he's going to ask him questions back and forth. This is beautiful. And we even have a video for this. They were super makbid on the tumah of paraduma, that the one drawing the water is going to be a child that was born without tumah. How do you do that? They made special, how do you say chatzer? Courtyard. Special courtyard in Yerushalayim. Benuyois ala sela. They were built on top of the stone. Betachteim chol, and they had a hollow to them. Now this hollow, mipnei kever atoim. We know that if Tumah is v'kev oila, Tumah goes all the way to the Shemayim, unless you're able to put a roof over it, and there is at least a tefach between the dead and the roof. If there's less than a tefach, then the Tumah breaks out of there and goes straight up. So you need to have some sort of hollowness. A hollow, spoke about it many times here in Bet Shemesh, here on the street, as in the right here. Those are the pipes, but they thought they found the bones and the whole thing. And then they built a street. So they built like the street is built like on a sort of like a bridge on stilts, and it gives enough room for the tumah. And also they put a pipe in there, so there's giant pipes on the grass between the two lanes. There's big pipes, and the tumah could escape through the pipe. That's a different sugya, but there's ways to get it. That's why they put a halal tefach. They put like at least a tefach above the dead, and that allows that the tumah shouldn't pop out. Umevim nashim ubaros. They bring pregnant women, v'yoldos, and the women give birth right there in this chutzner. It's a pretty hard life. You can't leave for 8 years. Umegadli sham b'neim lapara. And they bring up their children there, so that their children should never have tumah. Umevim shvarim al gabeim val gabeim blosses. Now the problem is, how are these boys that are not tamei going to draw water from the shilayach? If their feet are dangling from the horse, from the bull, so their feet could become tamei from any kind of bone that the horse is going over.
The bull.
Huh?
The shvar, not a horse.
Yeah, the bull. Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, whatever vehicle they're using kosher. The shvar.
Always the bull.
Okay, dafka bull, and they put a nice door on the bull, so it's nice and wide, so that their limbs don't come out beyond the door. And these children sit on top of these doors. And again, super makbid. They're not going to use metal. They're using stone. Not makabel tuma. Umilu, and they filled up the water from the shilayach. And the Gemara's question is, you see that we're always chayshish for dead people in Eretz Yisrael. Why do you have to go through all this? If there's no dead, according to Rabbi Yochanan, there's no dead. There's no mabel. And therefore there's no chashash for any bones just laying around in Eretz Yisrael. So why were they so makbid? So let me just show you this video, gewaldige stuff. There's one. This is not the I'm talking about a different video. In addition to the unbelievable video, we have this unbelievable video. This is the halal. There's a dead person over there. So even if there's a dead person, the tumah stops by the opening like that. They're on doors, waving to the camera on the time of the Beis Hamikdash. Oh, okay. Omer Avuna, you think this is good? Wait. Omer Avuna, huh? This does explain Pshat. Yeah, that's right. We're going to see the other one also explains Pshat, but it's unbelievable. Omer Avuna b'Rei Rav Yeshua ma'ale osu b'para. Listen to this. This is gewaldik. This is unbelievable. There's a machlokes between the tzdukim and chachamim. If a kohen who's a tvul yaim could perform the avodah of the paraduma, meaning a kohen who touched the sheretz, let's say, touched a dead rodent, one of the shmona shratzim. So he goes into the mikvah and comes out of the mikvah. When he comes out of the mikvah, he has a status of a tvul yaim. He's not 100% tar. He's not 100% tameh. He's in between. He has to wait until Erev Shemesh, until nighttime. Chachamim learned from a pasuk that such a kohen could do the avodah. He could shech the par. He could burn the paraduma. The tzdukim hold, no, they're literal. They go with what it says in the Torah. No, you can't. So what do Chachamim do? Chachamim want to show Klal Yisrael that the tzdukim are wrong. They take a kohen, they take a sheretz, they touch him in the face with the sheretz. They go like this, and they say, "Get into the mikvah." He goes into the mikvah. He comes out of the mikvah and says, "Now you burn the paraduma. You show everybody what the halacha is." They are concerned that people are going to be mizalzel in the paraduma. People are going to mistreat the kedusha of the paraduma, because here we just touched the kohen with the sheretz, and he's on a very low level of kedusha. He's in between. He's a tul yaim. He still has tumah to him, and so they said, let's go to the opposite direction. We got to go completely to the opposite. We are going to have these children that are born and Taisus asks, what do you mean born tahar? A woman who gives birth is tameh on the spot. So the moment they're born, they're tameh already. Now, we actually know the answer. The answer is that this whole thing is made up. They don't really have to be on a door, on a bull. This is all for show, to show. But Taisus says, we were only concerned about tumas meis and tuma yotzim gufan k'goyim bal keri. So that's why there were children up to the age of 8. There's no concern of keri and tumas meis. Those are the two things that we wanted to save them from. But akol panim. So Chachamim went to such extremes, it's unbelievable. To show Klal Yisrael, yes, on the one hand, we're going to be makel because we want to show that the Dukim are wrong. But we want Klal Yisrael to know this is not a joke. Paradum is not a joke. And don't all of a sudden tomorrow use a kohen who's completely tummy. So I'm going to show you how makbid we are. We're going to take a kid, we're going to take a pregnant woman, have her sit in a chutzner that we built that's tummaless, no tumma, and we're going to use all these bowls and we're going to draw it like this, the whole thing. And then you could say, and it could be this is a chutzpah, so I'm going to say a few things that are chutzpah today, that, you know, that a mashal, it will be a mashal. Because I'm going to get I have a lot of friends in Hatzalah. And Hatzalah has a clear psak from Moshe Feinstein that when it comes to Shabbos, they're not allowed to be makbid. So in other words, they come into shul with their walkie-talkie, they turn on the volume, off the volume, it's a whole. Then they get into the car, sirens, this, they drive back. Moshe said, that's how it works. So maybe, I'm just throwing this out, maybe those guys that have a psak that you have to drive your car and do everything that you have to do, they should be makbid on Shabbos in a different place, like B'chumer Yisera. Don't use the Erev, let's say. You know, take one thing and say, listen, Shabbos is unbelievable. It happens to be in this area, we have to be Mekel, where Moshe told us to be Mekel. You know what I'm saying? It makes sense, such a thing? Yeah. I don't know. It could be the people get mad at me. I don't know. Whoa,
Saying good. Saying very good.
In another area.
Very good. Very
this
good.
But is what you the kids shouldn't, I'm saying maybe you see, the kids shouldn't say, oh, Shabbos is a zilzal. My father uses his walkie-talkie. He doesn't chap that he's using because he's saving lives. Anyways, back to
He's saying not to do 10.
You hear the Shalom Ram? I'm not solo, so I can't do Tayameh. Sorry, I can't join the Tayameh because Eli said in the shir that they're going to be on Tzol, you can't do Tayameh. Oh, 1 for 1, but it's not on Shabbos. It's Erev Shabbos, but it's part of Shabbos. Okay, fine.
See that the hard part doing it, even a chamishi.
I'm going to tell the caterer we can save tons of money because all that Tzol guys that come to Shabbaton, there's no Tayameh for them. Right.
The part also has reveal betuma. It's the highest it could be.
It accepts Tumah on the highest. Yeah, it's the most sensitive. It is Chamishi. Chamishi on Tumah. Here, let's go to the back of this sefer. Let's see. It's Chamishi l'Tumah. Let's see how this works. I never used it. Here we go. Wow, check this out. Unbelievable. Right over here. What does it say? Could you zoom in on this, Gary? Chamishi, only a paraduma. It's the only thing. It's so sensitive that on a 5th level of Tumah, very nice. He's saying that's why. It is. It's not a joke, paraduma. It just happens to be that they made a diuk in the Torah that you could be a Tvul Weiter. Now it's Rabbi Yochan's turn to attack Rish Lakish, and Rish Lakish is not done yet. They once found bones in Eretz Yisrael in Lishkas Dira Eitzim. Ubikshu ligzar tuma inside the Beis Hamikdash. Ubikshu ligzar tuma Yerushalayim. If it's over here, if they found bones over here, they'll find in the whole Yerushalayim. Omad Rabbi Yeshua Raglo, Rabbi Yeshua got up, Ba'omar, and he said, Lo busha chlimi lanu shenigzar tuma alir aviseinu. Isn't this such a busha chlima? And as soon as I learned this, I was like, I'm trying to think of all the bushes I had in my life, and I had many. Some of the biggest bushes for me are during shir, like if I don't know pshad and somebody like gets me good. But I'll tell you this, everybody knows this, but I was surprised that in the Hebrew shir they didn't know it so well. One of the first days after we moved to Eretz Yisrael, I brought my children to the school, introduced them to the menal, the whole thing. I get back home and I'm schmoozing with my neighbor, and it was Menachem Schloss. And Bekitzer, what happened was, I walked them all the way to school, introduced them to the menal without my yarmulke on. I show up at a new school, walk through the streets all the way to Luz, and I'm schmoozing with all of this. The parents, they're all looking at me, and nobody said a word.
It was the second time being in the school. The first time they liked you very much. The second time the guy was looking at you like, what's wrong with this guy? Yeah, it was the first time.
Yeah. Anyway, a lot of geschmack and meises. How about the time I was a chazan? Chaim sheyesh b'hem bushel chlima, and everybody screams out, "Amen, bushel chlima!" Oh, on the spot. No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Oh, so he says, "Ayei meisi mabul, ayei meisi Nebuchadnezzar." All the Yidden that died from Nebuchadnezzar, millions. Where are the dead of the mabul? We're the dead of Nebuchadnezzar. So the Gemara says, the Gemara's medayik. Midchamar hachi, lav lememro de lav havu. That means that there's no dead people. There's no here. He's saying there's so many people that died in the Mabul, so many people that died in the Nebuchadnezzar. Where are they? They're not here. You don't have to worry about the tumah. What? Where are all the dead people from Nebuchadnezzar, from the Churban, where did they go? Elahavu, upaninu. They died, but they were able to move them away, bury them. So too, it doesn't mean, Rabbi Yochanan, it doesn't mean there was no mabel. It means there was a mabel, and they took the dead and they buried them. But at the end of the day, says the Gemara, but if they actually removed them, so what are you concerned about? So you, Rabbi Yochanan, what do you say? So there's no dead people. So even according to Rish Lakish, they were removed from Yerushalayim, but not from the whole Eretz Yisrael. And that's why I told you, if you look at this picture, it's a little tricky. They were removed because we're used to the Har HaZeisim Yerushalayim. But this right over here, where they do the Paraduma, is not in Yerushalayim. That they never cleared off. They only cleared what's inside the wall. Oh.
If you want.
Yeah, why not? Turning to the Daf, Adar Global Special Experts in International Payments, Encore Healthcare, L'schus Refuah Shleima L'Yeled Michol Ben Shulamis L'schus Hatzlocha L'Kol Klal Yisrael Omeid. Igdami, some say, Eiser Rish Lakish L'Rbi Yochanan, Rish Lakish Aser L'Rbi Yochanan, Ayei Meisi Mabul, Ayei Meisi Nebuchadnezzar, my love, Midahane Havu, since this is the death of Nebuchadnezzar, Haninami Havu. In other words, there's a Mabul in Eretz Yisrael. Midir, Hakid Isa, Hakid Isa. They got rid of the dead of Nebuchadnezzar, but the ones from the Mabul never happened. You can't compare one to the other just because he said in one sentence. He said, "Where's the dead of the Mabul? Where's the dead of Nebuchadnezzar?" We don't have either of them, but for different reasons. We don't have the dead of the Mabul because they were cleared out, and we don't have dead we don't have dead of Nebuchadnezzar because they were cleared away, and we don't have the dead of the Mabul because there wasn't a Mabul. It was never a Mabul, not because they were cleared away. What? In Eretz Yisrael. In Eretz Yisrael, of course, in Eretz Yisrael. Eisvei. So now Rish Lakish asks Rabbi Yochanan another question. It says before in the pasuk, Mikol shebecharava meisu, and it seems like Rabbi Yochanan doesn't argue on this pasuk. He doesn't even try to explain the pasuk differently. It says anybody that was on dry land on Charava died. So Bishleima lididi daminu yard mabul Eretz Yisrael mishum hachi meisu. I say that there was a Mabul in Eretz Yisrael, so everybody throughout the whole world, even in Eretz Yisrael, they died. Eladach. But according to you, why would they die in Eretz Yisrael? And Rabbi Yochanan doesn't argue. He says they did die in Eretz Yisrael. There's just no Mabul in Eretz Yisrael. He says Gemara Mishum Havla. From the heat in Baba Kama, we learned Havla is like bad air, no oxygen. But over here it means more. It's something similar but different. The heat. The extreme heat, you die from the steam. The steam coming off the hot water all over Eretz Yisrael, around Eretz Yisrael, killed everybody in Eretz Yisrael. Because Rav Chizda, Beroitchim Kilkulu, their sin was with Zera, Uberoitchim Nidainu, so that's why they died with hot water. The Sivhacha, Vayishoiku Amayim, it says the word Vayishoiku. What does Vayishoiku mean? So we see that word in Megillah Esther. Sivhasam V'chamas HaMelech Shechacha. What does it mean? That the anger of the king cooled down. It went from being hot to cold. So therefore water, Vayishoiku, it cooled off. Meaning that yesterday it was hot. So you see from here that the water was hot during the Mabul. Over here, it's Rabbi Yochanan asking Rish Lakish, not Rish Lakish to Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan says, according to me, there was no Mabul in Eretz Yisrael. That's why the Torah says there was dry land. There's one place that had dry land, it was Eretz Yisrael. But according to you, Rish Lakish, my Charava, why is it dry land? It says Gemara, because it was dry before the Mabul. So why is the Torah called dry land? Everywhere was my Charava. You'll see this also. In one video, he ties in the entire Gemara. It's unbelievable. One thing, I don't think it says MDY in the video. I'm going to show it in the, schools and stuff. It's going to be a classic, this one. There was no gzeira on the fish in the ocean. Ask the Marsha, if you take a look in the back, you'll see that there's only 5, 6, 10 pages, very few Marshas on this Masechta. But he asks, if the water was boiling, how did the fish live? How could fish live in boiling water? So he answers a very simple answer. The water that was boiling is the new water introduced to the world. Everything above ground. But the oceans, they remain cold. There's no reason for them to be roitchim. If they're not going to die anyways, why boil up that water? According to Manam, it says there's no Mabel Eretz Yisrael. I didn't come Reim Mahasam. There's an animal called a Reim. A Reim. It's a giant animal, something like this, massive animal. Just an interesting Taisus over here. Taisus says, could somebody read that word? Here, I'll zoom in on it. What does it say? Va'isam buffaloes. Va'isam buffaloes. You see that? It says no. So the buffaloes, I looked it up, they had buffaloes even 300 years ago that were double the size than what we have today. Double the size, but they're extinct. Imagine a buffalo. Buffaloes are dangerous enough as is. You know, they turn over a car in a second. They're one of the most dangerous animals in the safari. But a double the size, 2 meters tall and 3 meters long, mashu, big. So anyways, he says these buffaloes are nothing. He goes into it, if it's a chaya or not, kosher, hozach. Great. Just thought it's cool that he says buffaloes. Whoa, you have a minute over there. No, it's 8:01. Huh? Oh yeah, you got that video. Ooh. He asked a Mordecai Kasha, how did this rain survive? Good question. These are massive animals, and they don't fit in the teva, but the babies, he took a day-old baby or something, put them in, which I also had a problem, but after your year in the teva, anything like an elephant, you can take a baby elephant, but after a year, it's going to outgrow the teva. There's a famous story with David HaMelech that he says in Medrash, he was walking and all of a sudden started moving. He went up a mountain and then he realized he was stepping on one of these reims. I saw Urzila de Reima. I saw Basioimo, it was only a day old. Vahavi kahar tavar is the size of a mountain. Vahar tavar kamahavi, and what's the size of a mountain? I'm not just saying a mountain, I'm saying a size. Huh? Har tavar is a mountain. But how big is a mountain? This mountain? Arbaim parsi, it's 40 parsa, much larger than the teva. Meshachat tzavarid klasa parsa. Its neck is 3 parsa. Mirabata the reisha parsa upalga. The opening to the head, to the I guess where it connects, is 1.5 parsa. Rama Kaba, it once went to the bathroom, relieved itself. V'socha Yarden, and the whole Jordan River stopped. So there's a famous book by Rabbi Feldman, The Juggler and the King, and he talks about, this is all about the Vilna Gaon, explaining this Gemara in Baba Basra that brings this. And the Vilna Gaon says that it's referring to a young Talmud Chacham, and I even know a case like this, a guy that's mamish like Iluya, but a young Talmud Chacham, and he's mizalzel and all the G'dayla Adar. He's mizalzel because he's young and smart. He's mizalzel, he gives his Torah, so he says that stops up the Jordan. That's called, and then the water comes and it flows through a hole. He explains this mashal. You know that B'derech Klal, and they bring on this Gemara also, it's a guzma, it's guzmais. We have to understand what it means exactly. Okay. It's an exaggeration, B'derech Klal. Omer Rabbi Yochanan. You know what the answer is? Roisha yichnisu lateva. They let his head, just the head, came into the teva. Asked the Gemara, V'omar ma merabata the reisha parso palgo. His head was so large, it was a parsa, 1.5 parsa, which is like a mile and a half or something. It's way too big to fit into the teva. Elo, roish choitmoi hichnisu lateva. They only put in his nose, his nostrils went into the teva. Unbelievable. So Rabbi say, you could learn from here, Mordechai Yisod, that a person could be all day long sitting in the Gashmias, going to work, working with unaffiliated people, and who knows what, and this and that. But when your head is in the right place, your nostrils are in the teva, your head is in the Gemara. At night, in the morning, you come when you have to come and learn a daf Gemara. So that gives you the connection to Yiddishkeit and the Torah, and you're ben Torah. And yesterday, it hit me because I have this with Israelis. It's more for Israelis than Americans, but I'll just share with you. over the last 2 years, I met a lot of people. There's a lot of young guys that go to work. And in Eretz Yisrael, if you go to work, you walk around with a chip on your shoulder, thinking that you're a second-class citizen. Why? Because your father expects you to be a Gadol Hador or Shiva. Your Shiva pounded in you. There's only one way in life. There's only one way, and that is to learn the entire day. And those who go to work, Rahman al-Itzlan, Hashem Yirachim. And throughout the generations, it wasn't like that. There was a few Yechidei Zgula that learned all day, and Chas Shalom to put down. My father learns all day, and I also wanted to learn all day. Halavai, we should be zocheh to learn all day, and we should be able to learn all day. But there are those who go to work. And I told them, I said, listen, I speak to these guys all the time. You see, they mamish walk around like this, like, I can't believe it. I'm doing this. I'm working. I'm a bum. I'm not in koilel. So I said yesterday, I want you to know, it's true you're not first-class citizens, but you're not second-class citizens. You're AA, the top of the top citizens. L'chatchila, you shouldn't walk around with a chip on your shoulder. This is what you're doing. You're b'nei Torah. You're connected to Torah. Your whole life is around Torah, and you have to make a parnasa. And Tanaim also made a parnasa. There's a whole book of this one. Rav Papa sold beer, and this one sold that, and l'chatchila. A guy like Ari Simon works all day, but on Sundays he's here learning Eon. Every Sunday comes 5 o'clock in the morning on a regular day.
5 o'clock every day.
Every day. But on Sunday when he has off, he shows. Listen, I have to make parnasa. This is what but when I have off, I learn. I don't stop learn. I learn Eon. Eon. All right. V'amar Rabbi Yochanan. Again, I'm not pushing people to go work. I'm just saying if you're working in this, you can't walk around your whole life feeling terrible about yourself. You're not a second-class citizen. Fine, we said this. Why is he busy with the nose in the teva? There's no mabel in Eretz Yisrael. So they lived in Eretz Yisrael, these reims. The Divrei Shlokish Kamar, he's talking about Rish Lakish. Bokasagi teva. But the teva is moving. And the teva moves over a mountain. Imagine your nose is stuck in a teva, in a boat. And your legs are, 40 feet down, 100 feet down. And you're walking, all of a sudden you bump into a mountain. What are you gonna, your nose pops out of the teva for a second. So what are you going to do? The animal's going to die. Says the Gemara, Rish Lakish, Karnav Kashu Bateva. They tied down his horn, so he was stuck his nose was stuck there. How's it? I guess he dragged his body over the mountain. I don't know what happened. Broke his legs. What are we going to do? Oh, so maybe, we'll do 2 more lines.
What about
Ask the Gemara.
Boiling water?
Oh, there's boiling water.
Did the rain survive?
So how did the rain survive? How did the teva survive? We know in the Torah it says there was tar on the outside. Tar is gonna melt. I said I'm going to say it nachamol. My family knows this is the only thing I say in Parshas Noach. When I was a kid, there was he became a Rav later on in Monsey. Rabbi Berg, Zechron Levracha. He was my neighbor. In my building, small building in Ramat Hanan, Sonnenfeld 14. My next door neighbor, door to door, Lev Levayev, the famous Lev Levayev who built Kfish Shesh and one of the billionaires today. Underneath me, Rabbi Ehrenfeld has a famous yeshiva in Chadera. And above us, Rabbi Berg. This Rabbi Berg, he wasn't a Rav or anything, I think he was a balabas even. He decided every Shabbos he wants the kids in the neighborhood, Erev Shabbos he would do laning with us. And on Shabbos he gave us a faher on the Chumash Rashi. And whoever won would get a set of Mekrois G'dayos. It was Parshas Noach, and I learned it well with Rashi and the whole thing. And this is the answer that nobody knew. This is the one, I take a lot of pride in this one. He asked, what else was on the teva besides human beings and animals? And not Oigel Melech HaBashan, not the light in the ceiling, not the food, not this. The answer is Sheidim. So over here the Gemara says, Oigel Melech HaBashan was also, he couldn't be on the teva. So where was he? And if he was next to the teva, he's going to get burnt from all the hot water. Says the Gemara, the water around the teva was nice and warm, whatever, it wasn't hot. And Rabbi say, I want to show you this unbelievable video. Well, man, we're not done yet. We have to finish. But waschen. Fein. But the dogim shebayam, they would say,
אתה רוצה גם להריח?
אתה רוצה להריח? This Kavak to the rain. This is Eretz Yisrael. No Mabel in Eretz Yisrael according to Rabbi Yochanan.
That was the best day I've ever heard.
That was your favorite. Should we continue?
That was great.
Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.